Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jamise Inman and I am the creator behind 513 Design. As we step into the new year, I wanted to sit down and talk honestly with you guys about my sewing plans. Not in a let's do all the things kind of way, but in a realistic, here's the expectations of myself for this year kind of way. This year, my focus is simple but meaningful. I'm not rushing myself. I'm giving myself the opportunity to truly grow. It sounds a little far-fetched, but I think there's a lot of times where we rush things. And I really have been dealing with myself about this. I don't want to rush anymore. We rush to do everything. I realize I enjoy food being made on top of the stove or in a oven instead of the microwave because everything is such a rush to get done. We have really horned in on that even with our creativity. For myself, I don't want to rush anymore. I want to make the room to grow. For a long time, I felt this pressure, sometimes external, but mostly me, that I need to hurry. I need to finish faster. I need to prove something. I need to stack projects after projects after projects. But I learned that rushing doesn't actually make me better. It makes me tired, right? I have autoimmune disease. And for people who do not understand fibromyalgia, it's hard for anyone to get it. It's hard to understand that I can be really good in one moment and really bad in the next. And it happens so quick. Even yesterday, I was making chili. Yesterday went phenomenal. My Monday was everything I wanted plus more. I got all my chili stuff and halfway through, because I'm really intentional about my cooking. If you know me, I like to do everything from scratch. So I'm making this chili and I get halfway through and my body begins to ache. I really forget what I'm doing. I have fibromyalgia and I'm struggling to make this chili at this point. My family loves my chili and it's something we get a couple times a year. It's been cold in Florida, so great time for chili. At some point, stirring my chili, I'm crying because I'm so frustrated that an hour ago I was on this high and everything was going fine, and it took just like that to bring me back down to earth. So this year, I want to choose to do something different. I want to choose to be intentional in my sewing and also my life. That is where I'm at. Across the board, I want to be intentional. That is the word that God gave me for this year, intentionality. So instead of planning a whole year of sewing and overwhelming myself, saying that I have to get this done, I am going to spend time working in seasons. And I know that is a crazy concept for a lot of people. I look back on my last year and what I sewn. The beginning of last year started out strong. And then with the death of my mother-in-law, I can see where my sewing stopped. And I just started picking back up towards the end of last year. I want to go into this year being very realistic about where I am. I want to build this 90-day sewing plan, breaking down projects by weeks, setting clear goals, and leaving margin for life. I do not want to miss basketball games, horsing around with my boys, or spending time with my wonderful husband, being there for the kids that I mentor. And Lily, I finally said I was going to shout you out on one of my YouTubes. So here it goes. I love Lily. Lily is someone I met. Has it been 3 years now? It could have been 3 years now, but she's a wonderful girl. And to watch her grow into the person that she is has been amazing. I want to be able to focus on every area of my life without getting overwhelmed. The focus on these first 90 days, this first season, is finishing up what I've already started. It's about building skills slowly and intentionally, and it's about learning without pressure. I really want to expand my knowledge, so I am studying a pattern making book, but not in a way that feels like homework. I am going to learn as I sew. I'm going to read chapter by chapter and the projects that it give. If I have time to do them, I will. If I don't, I won't, and I don't feel bad about it. There's going to be certain projects out of this book that I'm going to intentionally do, but it's going to be something that I learn to do because I want to learn how to pattern make. I am going to be paying attention to the fit and the structure and why things work the way they do. I am going to prioritize progress over perfection, understanding over speed, because I really want to grow as a person. This is not about just sewing. This is about how I move through my life this year. I'm going to move with more grace and more patience. The fear of not doing enough. I'm going to lose that fear, right? That fear that we all have that we're not doing enough in this life. And I'm reminding myself that growth takes time and it's not a weakness, right? That's what I'm doing. I want to finish some projects, start some projects. I've been talking about the Bridgerton collection that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do a whole video on that and show you guys the fabric. It is not a collection. It is 2 garments. I'll do a video on it, but I'm doing that. I am learning to quilt. There's a video on that. You can see my journey with learning to quilt. I'm going to actually cut out my first 2 blocks. I also have some news that I'm really scared about. But I have a saying in my house that I've been telling my kids that I am going to embrace. You can be scared, but do it anyway. Okay? So I may be creating a 6-piece collection for a local Juneteenth event this year. Now, for those who may not know, Juneteenth celebrates June 19th, 1865, the day enslaved African Americans in Texas learned that they were free. More than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. It's a day that honors freedom, resilience, culture, history, and a day to thank God for his blessings on the culture. This local event is happening annually, and I've been asked to participate in the past. And I usually say no. And the 1 year that was going to, I backed out. So it's not because I didn't want to do it. It's really because I was afraid. I was afraid I couldn't finish. I was afraid that my vision wouldn't come true. I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. I was afraid. This is not like it's the first time I've done a collection. I did this collection a couple years ago. Did a collection that I sold themed around going to church on a Sunday. I was my own model and I tried not to tell anyone that I was doing it. It was very low key because I didn't want to disappoint anybody or myself. So when it finally was done, I did the pictures and everybody got to see. And I even had items that were for sale. People can custom order garments and nothing happened with it. It made me afraid, but it shouldn't be a reason to stop doing something that you love, that you have a vision for, that God has allowed your giftings to grow and mature doing because you're afraid. So this year, I'm going to do it even if I'm afraid. And I am. I picked out my fabrics and I'm working through drawings right now, and it's slow and it's intentional and it's honest, and it's going to stretch me. It's going to challenge me. It's going to teach me new things, and I'm going to show up. And I'm not just going to show up for the people who I'm saying yes to in the show. I'm going to show up for myself. So that is what I'm doing this year. I'm starting slow. I'm giving myself 90 days. Each 90 days, I can go back and review my goals. And this is not just with sewing. This is my personal life, my spiritual life. I'm not taking the whole year in one gulp. I'm breaking it down and giving myself room to breathe, to grow, to get it done, to not get it done. What are your plans for the new year? It can be sewing, it can be otherwise. Are you setting big goals for yourself? Or are you slowing down too? Are you realizing that there's a lot going on in life and you sometimes need to take your time? So tell me, are you doing the sewing bingo challenge this year? We have a whole bunch of challenges. They start at the beginning of the year. Let me know what's on your board. Let me know what you're doing. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for walking alongside me, for giving me the space to grow out loud. I realize this is my way of talking to people who I may not normally talk through my issues and my fears, and you guys give me the space just to do that. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.